Welcome to the family with
Alex Brant Bernard Rasmussen.
Andy Brant Bernard.
Co-host Catherine Brandt.
who's not up on camera because for some reason yet again it doesn't work.
Yep.
We don't know why. We have no
I
idea.
don't know. Ever since my computer updated, nothing works anymore, which I
Sounds
just
about
adore
right.
and worship so much about computers.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. What are you gonna do?
So what's going on? Anything good?
Timberwolves won their first playoff game.
I tell you what, the Twins and the Timberwolves won on the same day. It's been a while since that's happened. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that.
Has it ever happened?
Exciting.
Because the Twins suck this year. But yeah, they did not expect them to beat the Suns, but they beat them in the first game.
They sure did, and they play them again tonight. I think at 7.
It's tomorrow night, I think. Is it Monday or Tuesday? We could check. I think it's tomorrow night.
Okay.
That's what they said on Channel 5 News anyway.
Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Yes, Eyewitness News. Does anybody know when the game is? Anybody looking it up
I'm looking it up.
as we speak?
I don't know.
I can't spell game, but whatever.
Yeah, GAME is very, very difficult to
I
remember.
spelled game.
GAME.
Tomorrow at 6:30. You're
Yeah,
right.
it's tomorrow night. Yeah, Tuesday.
They're playing. Yeah, it's best of 7. So the first team to get to 4 wins.
Indeed.
Who's
You guys going? Are you going to any of the games?
Dan went to the one, whatever day that was.
Was it
Saturday?
Saturday? Saturday.
Was it Saturday? Yeah, he went to that game. He said it was a fantastic game.
There, yeah. How come you didn't go?
He went with his friend that he goes to a lot of the games with, and I stayed home with the children.
There you go.
Well, yeah, I don't think your kids would do too well at a basketball game.
We've brought them.
Very loud.
They had a great time.
Fawn probably would, but Sage is a little young.
He had the time of his life.
Yeah?
Really?
When I was
Time of his life.
when I was that
Literally,
age, I would have not that
He
stuff.
stood there and dancing, trying to get on the Jumbotron.
Oh,
Kids do love that.
He was
There's
That
a
does sound
shock.
like that sounds like Sage.
every person around us was
well,
like,
there she is.
Well,
There
it's
she is.
my computer
Well, it
camera.
still looks
but
great.
There's
It
nothing
is
I can
yeah,
do about
that's fine.
anything.
yeah,
It looks really good.
Every person around us was like, that poor kid really worked so hard, and he didn't get on the
Mhm.
Jumbotron. And Sage was,
Poor Sagey.
we were like, maybe next time. But yeah,
But you said
they,
Michael Bryant was on there.
Dan was at the game on Saturday, and oh my gosh, and
Yeah.
said that Michael Bryant and his wife showed up on the Jumbotron.
What was he? Was he dancing? Did he have ribbon streamers? How did he get on there?
Yeah.
Did he?
He didn't
lose
say
his mind?
anything. He didn't say anything specific about what they were doing. Just they were on there.
I'm going to have my phone might ring, and I'm so sorry in advance, but I'm waiting for a call.
Mine rings
that
once
I
in a
have
while.
to have.
It
so-
sure does.
I'll get
Sorry.
over it.
So
I'll
are the
get over it.
Timberwolves, do they have any chance, or is this just
Oh
like,
yeah, no, they totally do.
Oh, yeah?
Everyone thinks that the Nuggets are going to win it all because they won it last year, and they're a very, very good team. We're a very, very good team, and you never know. Sometimes,
We are third in the Western Conference.
but all year we've vacillated between the first and the third, like first, second, third, second, first, third. It changes.
number 1 and number 2 are tied, and they only have 1 win over us. So
Yeah, it's been the whole year. It's been the third, I think, is the lowest that we've been.
How exciting!
Because there was one game that I think we played the Nuggets and we lost because we were tied for first and then they took first and then we went down to third, I want to say. And Dan was like, the game was just awful. It was just a bad game, which is weird. He's like, it's the first game that I've been to that I was like, what was that?
what the hell are the Trailblazers?
Portland?
Portland, yeah.
I've never heard of a lot of these Western Conference, like the Grizzlies,
Yep.
Colorado, I'm guessing.
Wyoming.
No,
Or,
They have a
yeah, one of
basketball
those
team?
Denver
states.
Nuggets. The Grizzlies are, oh my gosh.
Grizzlies.
I know
NBA
this.
team.
Well,
That
probably
would be the Memphis.
The Memphis Grizzlies.
They have grizzly bears in Memphis.
Do they?
Well, I did
No,
not
Did
know
you
that.
did you guys see that video that went all viral about those 3 idiots, some sort of influencers that
Yep.
were plucking bear cubs, black bear
What?
cubs
Yeah,
from
there
a tree?
were. Yeah, there were
Why?
2 black bear cubs in a tree near an apartment complex.
Oh,
so
I
these
saw
people
that, yeah.
just went out and decided to take them out of the tree and take.
Yeah, they
pictures of
decided
them.
for social media that they were going to take these cubs, and one of them had to be euthanized
Yes.
Yep.
One of the
because
bears.
they dropped it or something.
What?
Yeah, and the other one is in protective custody because it ran away and nobody knows where the mom was or.
Well, what's his
Okay.
name? What's the big guy's name on Fox News? Tyrus something. Is it
Virus.
Tyrus? Really big guys.
Virus the virus?
Oh, the guy that used to be a wrestler or something?
Yeah, he was a professional wrestler.
Yeah,
I know who
Tyrus,
you're-
I think.
Is it Tyrus? Yes, it is Tyrus.
Yeah.
Tyrus said because they touched those cubs, the mother will never come near them again because they now smell like human beings.
That's a myth.
Yeah,
Well, that's a myth,
It's a
really.
very long stand. I was taught that when
Yeah.
I was a kid too.
About
but
Oh,
it's-
birds.
really?
I
Yeah.
heard that
So
about
you protect
birds. I
baby
don't think that's
bird.
always true.
They tell kids that so they won't touch baby animals.
Yeah.
Oh,
The real
okay.
reason you don't touch a bear cub is because if mama comes back, you're dead.
You're gonna be toast.
Well, there's a lot of reasons to not touch
Well,
a
yeah,
bear cub.
but I mean, I'd argue that's the number one reason.
Yeah.
Remember when we were hiking in Montana and we saw those bear cubs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were not very far away from us, and I could see the mom.
then
And the
you
bear
probably-
cubs kept coming closer to the
Yeah.
hikers.
Get the hell
Yes.
away from me.
They were jumping on trees and peeking out at us and all this stuff. And I was like, I hope Mama Bear
Yep.
doesn't. And everybody's like taking pictures. I'm like, you should have your bear spray out, not
You
your
should, yes.
your cameras.
Well, generally, as long as you don't get between the cubs and the mom, or
Yeah,
if
but
you
what
don't pick the cub up, the mom is
Yeah.
going to be pretty chill about it.
Yeah, and
If
I
you
saw
try to
another.
touch the cub, she's not going to like that. But
No, and I saw another video about these hikers were just standing. They were all of a sudden this bear just walks up to them, and they just all froze.
Mm-hmm.
And this one bear went up to a woman, and he was just like sniffing her all over.
Yep.
Stood up and started sniffing her, and they all just stayed calm. And the bear just walked away. I was like, I would shit my pants.
Yes.
Guaranteed if
I could
John,
see that.
if a black bear decided to come up and stand up next to me, I don't know
Yeah.
how they stayed so calm. I would have been like,
black bears are
"Oh."
like the smallest and most timid bears, but you're still not going to beat them in a fight.
No, they're very, very strong. So yeah, I just can't believe that people are so dumb that they would
Yep.
pick up bear cubs for social media.
I know. Well, it's like
Yeah.
every year a bunch of people get killed because they go up to Canada and they see a moose and they're like, "Oh, let's go pet the moose." And, the moose just kills them instantly because they weigh like 2,000 pounds.
Yeah,
Those are huge.
Yeah.
yeah, they're solitary creatures. They don't like people
Well,
Interaction.
no wildlife likes a human coming up to it and touching it, really.
unless they're
Babies,
used to being
maybe.
fed.
Or, yeah, if it's been not domesticated,
Well,
when something becomes tamed.
Yeah, tame.
yeah, tame.
Yeah, if it's become tamed, then it'll be okay with it usually. But still, unless it's not matured yet, it's not going to like you coming up to it.
Right. I just need to point out that Andy's shirt matches his beard.
Look at that.
Anybody
Nice.
notice that?
Same
Buzz,
color.
brownish,
Does.
reddish.
Yep.
In the lighting that you're.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm in
yeah,
this-
yeah, you look like you
I'm in the shadow realm
intentionally
here.
dyed your beard to match your shirt.
Does that now every day.
I can't get this off my mind, so I got to get rid of it.
Oh, dear.
Mom and I fly to Banff, Canada, the very first day of our honeymoon.
Oh boy.
We're in Banff, Canada. We stay at the
Oh,
Banff Springs Inn.
God.
You guys have been there.
Any chance to throw me under the bus?
I'm
He'll
not
take
throwing
it.
you under the bus. It's got nothing to do with you.
Oh,
What the hell are
okay.
you talking about?
The usual story is that I didn't know what a glacier looked like.
No, that was in Lake Louise. That was not in Banff.
Oh,
That was in Lake. We'll get to that eventually. Anyway, so we get there and we go, hey, we should go play golf. So we went down and said, we'd like to make a tee time. I said, oh, I'm sorry, the course is closed. We're like, it's a beautiful day. It's 75 degrees. It's sunny. It's just beautiful. Banff Springs Golf Course. If you've never played it, it's magnificent. No doubt. Well, that was many years ago, but so they, no, sorry, the golf course is closed. I'm going to go, why would the golf course be closed? It's a beautiful day and blah, 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 blah. You have an event? They go, no, we're just closed. So this one guy comes in and goes, sir, come over here. We'll talk. Apparently, there was a man from Japan, a Japanese man was in Banff Springs, and he was walking the golf course, just taking along the side of it, taking pictures. And there was a gigantic, black bear, I think it was.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
mostly
You don't-
black bears.
You
in
don't
that
want to
area.
mess around with grizzlies.
He walked up to a black bear to take its picture,
Mm,
and it almost took his head right off his shoulders. Killed
Yep.
him on the spot.
it'll
Yeah.
do that.
Dear.
God,
Yeah, they say almost every year somebody gets killed by a
Yep.
black bear or even a grizzly. They will, because people throw food at them out the car
Yes.
windows.
Yeah,
So
they do.
any animal, will take a snack, free snack, and they will like walk around cars and things. And people
Yes,
think,
they will.
just because they're going to walk around cars, then they must be tame.
And they know how to open cars.
Yeah,
They do,
and there's
yeah.
also a problem with it's the bighorn sheep up there. People feed the bighorn sheep, and apparently it makes them very ill, and that shortens their
Oh.
life. And yeah, they're not supposed to be doing that, but they do it anyway.
So, Andy, I have a question because you would know this. What is the name? There's a moose that's like the biggest moose in the world. Do you know what I'm talking about? These things are gigantic.
The
only
Alaskan moose.
They
Is it
only
the
live in
Alaskan
North
moose?
America, right?
I think
Yes.
so, yeah.
I think, yeah. Yeah, Alaskan moose are the biggest ones.
Because Mom and I are driving along, and we looked there's a big deep ditch on both sides of the highway, right? There was a moose laying dead in the
Yeah,
ditch,
it must have been hit by a car or
and
something.
its paws, its hoofs or whatever,
Paws?
hooves.
Moose paws,
Moose paw.
I am not kidding you. On its back, this thing must have been 7 feet tall when it was standing on.
They're huge.
Like 7 feet. The thing was sticking out of the ditch. It was so big. I'm like, oh my
Alaskan
God.
moose are up to 6 feet tall at the shoulders.
Yeah, at the shoulders.
That was it.
So
so
that's
big.
got to be like 11, 12 feet long.
Yes.
They weigh, let's see, adult males, 1,500 pounds.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's a lot of moose.
I never got to see a moose when we were in Canada, which I was disappointed at. But I did get to see a moose when we went to, it was Wyoming.
Yep.
Yep. There was an area that they congregate and hang out and have their little families, and somebody told us about it. We saw it across a river. It wasn't up close, but I guess they get on the bike paths there all the time.
Yeah,
and
they
if
do.
you see one, you're supposed to turn around and pedal really fast the other way because they will charge you.
Yes, they will.
Yeah, they're nothing to mess with.
What was the name of that hotel again? That was a nice place.
In Wyoming?
Yeah.
It was kind of
hell
a
was the name of it?
condo-y sort of a
It was
thing.
kind of condo-y,
I
yeah, but
don't
it was
know.
just a beautiful
It was
hotel.
in Teton Village.
Yeah, Teton Village. That's
We didn't
exactly
stay
where it
in
was.
Jackson Hole.
We stayed in Teton Village.
Yeah, we stayed in Teton.
And I think that was the name of the hotel. That was like the Teton Village Hotel, I
Yeah,
think.
something like that.
God, it was beautiful.
It was really beautiful. It's
The
right
wildlife.
underneath the ski lifts to the.
Yep.
That's right where this downhill skiing is, right there, and it's also the entrance to. It's not Yellowstone. What's the other park there? I can't remember the name of the park.
Let's
Pretty
see.
damn cool across the board.
Devil's Tower,
No,
Grand
it's
Teton.
A big, yeah, Teton, Grand Teton Park,
Yeah,
I think.
there you
or
go.
something.
I
Yeah,
think it
it's
is
a
Grand
national
Teton,
park
I think
too,
you're
which I
right.
didn't know about.
They have a lot of the national
was
parks
right
in
there.
Wyoming.
Yes, and it is unbelievable there. It's very beautiful. So many
Very
creatures
cool.
walking around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a bit of news, and it is family news. It's like third cousin family news.
Oh, right.
Oh, and now Bernie just sent me a message. I want to make sure Tom saw this. Maybe give a little promotion to the Legends of Rock the Academy. I talked about this morning, as a matter of fact. Governor Walz has proclaimed this Saturday to be Pat Ebert's Day in the state of Minnesota.
Aw.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a proclamation. They sent me a picture of the proclamation signed by the governor of the state of Minnesota. Governor Walz signed it. They're going to do a Legends of Rock concert, as a matter of fact, that I do believe that this is in Jamestown, North Dakota. That's where Pat is buried, in Jamestown, North Dakota. But thank you again to Governor Walz for naming a day after Pat Eberts,
I never
Catherine's
thought I'd
cousin.
hear the day.
Yeah, there you go. Nan is what, you were third cousins or something?
All right. Yeah.
I think he was my third cousin.
He was your third cousin.
So he's
Okay.
my second cousin.
We shared a great grandparent.
Yes.
Oh,
Something.
is that what it is?
Glory,
Yeah, I think his grandma was.
my grandma's sister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'd be
or
like second
something
cousin.
like that.
Yeah.
And Andy and Alex would be a third cousin. Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
I need to get my trigonometry workship out so I can.
I know. I have a hard time with all of this once removed.
Oh, God, yes. There's no question about it. Legends of Rock are going to perform that night, by the way, in Jamestown, North Dakota. They were telling me all about this. Doors open at 6 o'clock. Civic Center, Jamestown, North Dakota. Legends of Rock will be there. And I'm looking at the whole list of people. It's going to be pretty amazing. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see who the hell it is. But
Want to borrow mine?
I do know, ladies and gentlemen, that I wanted to thank, once again, thank the governor for naming Saturday Pat Ebert's Day in Minnesota, even though he's buried in North Dakota where he grew up.
Do you think you're going to ever get a day?
What, in prison?
Yeah.
It's not going to
You
be
think you're
Tom
going to go
Bernard
to prison,
Day.
Tom?
You
I
never
think,
know.
I think Tom Bernard Day, when I got into National Radio Hall of Fame, I think they called that Tom Bernard Day, I think.
Oh, there's a National Tom Bernard Day? Or a
Not
Minnesota?
national, no,
No.
it's
Okay.
not national.
National Tom
I'm going to start
Bernard.
petitioning for that.
I believe it's I don't know, Andy, you could look it up probably. I don't even know if they list those things or not. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure about that whole deal, but it's just so nice because Pat was very close to Andy and Alex and Nana and me, and we would talk to him all the time. We'd see him all the time.
He knew everybody.
He knew
He sure
everyone. He fell asleep in a chair without a CPAP machine, and it killed him, unfortunately.
That's so crazy to
Very,
me.
very sad.
Pretty rough.
That's what happened?
That's
Yeah,
what I
that's
hear.
how he
Yeah.
died, yeah.
I didn't know
He
that.
didn't have a CPAP on. He fell asleep in a chair, and it killed him.
Jeez.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Well, it's painless. You know,
Tough,
if you're gonna go, that's the way to go, I suppose.
So what
Yeah, I guess.
happens?
His heart just stopped. Hypoxia.
Because you can't get enough oxygen, I guess.
Yeah, his oxygen level
Yeah.
would have dropped just low enough that his brain and heart would have stopped working, and there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it's better than suffering in a hospital bed for like a
Yeah.
month.
And
which
I mean,
a lot
I'm
of
not
people do.
not to like say anything about how that happened, but I mean, it just seems so weird that your body wouldn't somehow do something.
Adjust.
to
Yeah,
wake
there's
you up,
something
a
about
jolt or
apnea. It's like
something.
it has to happen just right, so that kind of like that mechanism doesn't work, or it doesn't work fast enough.
What I'd like to know is before all these CPAP machines.
Mm-hmm.
How did anybody live? It
They
seems
didn't.
like every man over 50 has to have a CPAP machine now.
No, it's not that common.
Right.
Practically, I mean, I know like 5 people that have one.
Do you really?
You should have one.
What do you mean I should have one? My breathing is magnificent.
You breathe very oddly when you're sleeping. You make a lot
It's
of weird noises.
Better than it used to be, which is unusual.
Yeah, well, it's because
Usually it gets worse as you age.
He lost weight, and
That's-
when he lost weight, he
that
didn't
helps.
snore nearly as much.
I've only got 38 pounds to go. I'm going to go
There
from
you go.
315 down to 214. I already had lost 50 pounds of it when I started the Livia program. I weighed in this morning at 252.
252.
38 pounds ago. I should probably the last day of my diet should work out if I behave and do it right. The last day on the diet will be the day before Labor Day.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be kind of nice.
You won't recognize him when he comes home.
But it's honest to God,
this man?
it's the easiest program. Livia is so easy to do, and I'm not just saying that because I'm doing the program. It is. I'm never hungry. I got a ton of energy.
You get to eat crunchy snacks.
I get to eat
which
crunchy
is really
snacks.
important for you. You
It
like
is.
to have a crunchy snack.
I can have a pretzel, which is good. They have pretzel. Livia has these good bars and snacks and all that kind of stuff that are very healthy, so that's good.
Yep.
But yeah, I just want to bring that up that I was at 38. I got 38 pounds more to go. Not bad.
Yep. I remember when you lost your whatever it was last time.
100
My mind.
pounds.
I remember not being able to pick you out in a crowd for a while.
No, I suppose.
Your body
Yeah.
had changed so much. I didn't even know who you were. I was like,
Yeah.
it used to be so easy to
I know,
find
'cause
him, and
well,
now
and
it's like, I don't know. I don't know what to scan for.
Yeah, I know. It's like, when you see somebody from like behind or whatever, and you're like, that person has the same body as
Right.
my friend Natalie or my
Mhm.
friend Ariel. And it's
Right.
just like, because they just have
Yeah.
a very specific frame. And you're like, this is the body
Right.
of this person.
I don't know, I think the whole thing is going along really, really well, but I just,
It is going well. You seem to be very happy. You don't seem to be hangry.
Mm.
no, I don't get hangry. I have not been hungry since I started this.
That is huge.
Seriously, I've not been hungry. But I eat a lot of shrimp. I love shrimp cocktail anyway. It's phenomenal.
Do love
Shrimp
Yeah,
is
shrimp.
you
good.
are eating a lot of shrimp.
A lot of
Every
shrimp
time you
and,
go on a
and
diet,
ground
it's
turkey. I
like-
love ground turkey too.
Yep,
It's wonderful.
all good
You've been
stuff.
eating a lot of that ever since Melissa got pregnant. Her tolerance for red meat is quite low.
Oh, I suppose.
So
Does it
turkey,
just
a lot of
taste
turkey.
funny, or
She says
make
it
her?
tastes awful to her now.
Huh. Interesting.
Yep.
That'll happen.
No, it's also
Jude's bored with us. He's snoring
Yeah.
over here.
Oh,
He
Jude
should
was-
get a CPAP machine.
He
Jude
should
was
get
up
a CPAP.
coughing again. That's why I'm waiting for the vet.
How
Mm,
are you?
Yeah, because he's on his last few days of antibiotics from his toxoplasmosis.
not
and
toxoplasmosis.
He's still coughing, so I just don't know how long it's supposed to take.
It's myco something, not toxoplasmosis.
Microplasmosis?
Is that a
Something.
thing? Yeah, mycoplasma. That's what it was. Mycoplasma.
Oh.
Not micro,
well.
but myco.
Myco, yes.
I go.
Okay.
Myco
Yeah, how long is
coming
he supposed
from
to cough
something.
for?
I don't know. I'm not a vet.
Where did he
But you're
get this from now?
Probably
God only knows, because he eats
north
everything in
of
sight.
the leaf that had it on it.
Yeah, he eats
I
everything
feel
in
like you
sight.
just need to maybe muzzle him when
I
he's
bought a muzzle.
She did.
Well, the
buy
problem
one.
I
is
bought a
this-
muzzle.
He has it's in his lungs, and you get that from inhaling things. So muzzle's not going to prevent him from
Well,
inhaling.
he also sticks his nose down into the ground.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
He
Sniffs
shoves-
absolutely everything,
he
and
licks,
well, and we're
sniffs, and
we're in a
snorts.
downtown area
Mm-hmm.
with a billion dogs that
Yeah,
poop and pee all over the place. So I mean,
that is true.
God
Yeah.
knows.
Really
God only
just
knows.
Well,
ingests all of the
mycoplasma,
things.
myco it means fungus. So, and there's a lot of humidity and wetness and dampness in Florida. So
Yeah, but
it's
I don't know.
probably just like it rained and, some sort of, mushroom
be.
spores grew, and there you go.
So how is antibiotics helping a fungal?
Well, mycoplasma is a bacteria.
Yes.
Mycoplasma would mean mushroom plasma.
Mushroom.
It's a bacteria that I
Bacteria.
think, yeah, like it likes mushrooms.
Oh,
There's nothing wrong
I'm going to
with
rethink mushroom eating.
Well, I mean, I think unless you got some severe issues, you can still eat mushrooms.
Well, and you're never
Okay.
supposed to eat mushrooms raw.
No,
ever.
technically you are not, which is I used to all the time as a kid.
Nope.
Button
Yeah,
mushroom.
always-
aged.
Because there's
Yeah.
a lot of different bacteria that really likes mushrooms.
that. Really?
Also,
And if you cook it, it goes away.
also every mushroom has a substance in it that's bad for your kidneys.
Yeah.
Oh.
But if you cook it, it goes away.
It denatures or whatever. I mean, if you eat a box of button mushrooms a week, it's not going to kill your kidneys, but it's still like, maybe
Why
just cook them.
bother?
I know I have an acquaintance with this woman that wrote a cookbook, and in two of her recipes there was a like raw mushroom situation, and she had to get it taken from the shelves and all this stuff because
Huh.
some like the FDA or something like that.
Well, cutting
went
mushrooms up into
after
a
her.
salad is like a thing that people
And they were
do.
like, you can't sell a cookbook that advises people to eat raw mushrooms.
Huh. Interesting.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Mhm.
All right, I got to ask you a question, and you guys all have to guess before I open the story.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Is it about the new episode of Bluey that everyone's talking
I've
about?
heard it so
We covered that last week.
Yeah, we did.
No,
We covered it.
this is another new episode of Bluey.
Oh, it is?
New
There's
episode?
two
Oh.
of them.
I
Okay, we'll
didn't
get to
know.
that after this.
Okay.
New Bluey. Was it another half-hour episode?
No, this is a normal one.
Yeah.
A normal one. Okay.
The 30-minute one was the one-off.
Yep.
Today is two things. It's Passover, so don't be
Yes.
bad
Happy
mouthing
Passover.
Jews. Right, happy Passover. Don't be
Okay, I'll-
bad mouthing
I'll,
Jews on
I'll
Passover.
quit for today.
I'll go find a lamb.
There you go. And it's also Earth Day.
Yes.
And the fact that it is Earth Day, name the most and least environmentally conscious states. You want to do the most conscious or the least conscious states in America?
I would assume most has got to be like Wyoming.
So that
Well-
they're the most conscious environmentally.
Yeah, what does conscious
what do you mean?
mean?
Because California is like the land of hippy dippy
Yeah.
restaurants
Yeah,
and
that's true.
stores and stuff.
But they also probably pollute
they-
more than any
yeah,
other state.
because they have a bajillion
giant
trillion
cities
people
and
Yeah.
tons of people and a lot of industry.
yeah. So
Like
what-
Silicon Valley, those server farms have to take up gigawatts of power.
Yeah. So what's the qualifier
Yeah.
for most conscious?
Okay, it says here a survey asked Americans to rate themselves on how eco-friendly they are,
Oh, so it's
and residents. The I don't want to say who it is yet.
Mm.
The most environmentally conscious, the people are the least conscious, or we'll get to that in a minute. So how environmentally conscious would you say you are? For some people, it depends. They give themselves an 8 when they're combing through the trash, separating out bottles and cans, and a 2 in all other categories. A survey asked 5,000 Americans, including residents of every state, to rate themselves on how eco-friendly they are on a scale of 0 to 10.
Okay.
Okay, so who is the least and who is the most environmentally friendly?
So it's based on what people think they are.
That's exactly
So
right.
New York and California are the highest. 'cause
Yeah,
they think
exactly. They think very highly
that
of
they're
themselves.
they think very highly of everything.
Lowest
that
has
they
got
do.
to be like Mississippi or a state that just they don't care.
Yeah, like in the South where nobody recycles.
No, they don't. It's like when we were recycling in Florida, we
Florida
had to
recycles.
what?
Florida recycles.
It does, but it's not easy
Not
in some
easy,
places.
yeah.
Like I would have to carry a bottle around with me for like 2 miles before I found a recycling bin.
Oh,
See, there you
that's
go.
true.
All right, I'm going to read some of these. Residents from California are the second most environmentally conscious, followed by Oregon, Delaware, Massachusetts, Vermont, Washington, Florida, Maryland, and Rhode Island. Minnesota's not even on the list of environmentally friendly.
That's surprising.
That
Interesting.
does shock me. It's quite shocking. Okay, least friendly.
Oh, but you didn't say number one, did you?
I'm not going to say number one yet.
New
Oh.
York.
Tennessee would be the second lowest, followed by Arizona, Ohio, and Alabama. So Minnesota did not make either list, best or worst.
Interesting.
So residents from what state are number one? The most eco-friendly would be New Mexico.
No, that's weird.
Once again, fewer people live there.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
true.
And it
I
is
suppose.
very, very artsy, fartsy people that live there. So I would guess that
Yeah.
tracks.
Actually, I thought you guys would be right about your pick for the least environmentally friendly, but no. As a matter of fact, South Carolina admitted to being the worst.
South
them all.
Carolina.
That surprises
South Carolina.
Hmm.
They're on the coast. They're not really in the south. I mean, they're south, but they're not the deep south. Does that
Pretty
surprise you?
south. I mean,
They're pretty far. They're the South.
Yeah.
I'd say they're the beginning of the South.
Yeah.
They're the beginning of the south. Yeah, that's a
I
good way to
wouldn't
put it.
put them on the same category as like Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana.
No.
there's deep south.
Swamp
and then there's
states.
the
Yeah,
south.
exactly.
Yeah.
I will say that having lived in New York, they are not even remotely eco-friendly.
No, God, New York.
No,
I,
they're
I
not.
remember my
I developed a scab while I was living
Yeah.
there because
Yeah,
it was
Jesus.
so offended by the air.
Yep.
So
yeah.
I
I remember my brother Daryl, who really likes to watch, I think, CNN and then
Oh,
get
he sure does.
outraged about everything, or maybe it's MSNBC because they're even worse than
the
CNN.
same
But whatever he watches, I remember he called me up one time and told me how wonderful Manhattan was, that they were the greenest, cleanest city like in the world. And I was
Yeah.
like, have you ever been to Manhattan? Because there's just garbage and stench everywhere, and it's very, very dirty. And yeah, you know what they do? They pack up their garbage and put it on a barge and send it somewhere else.
Yes, they do.
So I don't know.
They
how-
sell
I mean,
their garbage to. I think like Sweden
I
buys their
guess-
garbage because
I
they
guess
burn
they
it
don't
for
do-
energy.
I don't
Yeah.
think they do that anymore. I think
No?
that's stopped.
That was
But,
that was a thing for a long
yeah,
time.
I lived in
was.
a very large building and there was no recycling.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
just
yeah.
crazy to me.
Well, you and I lived in New York, 20th Street and 2nd Avenue for a few years, and
That was pretty clean back then.
that was, yeah.
But
it
they,
was.
you know, every once in a while they'll do a push to clean up Manhattan when everybody just leaves, and it's probably going to happen again pretty quickly.
They're
here.
coming
But,
up on it. They're definitely getting that urban flight going on
Yes.
pretty badly right
A
now.
lot of people left during COVID.
Yep.
Yes, and
Okay,
a lot
now-
of people have never come back.
This next question could be in a generational thing. It could be. Because I would have never guessed this. When you walk into a restaurant etiquette, okay, we're talking about here, where do more than half of people ask to be seated?
By a
More
way.
than half ask to be seated in a specific location. Where to be? Now, I would say, what I would have responded to that is, well, I like a window seat if you have one.
Yeah,
By a window.
Sit by a window, right?
Right.
Andy, what do you think?
I honestly don't care.
Yeah,
don't
I've
care where you
really
sit
never cared.
Yeah.
Like
I
unless
just
it's
don't
like
want to be
maybe
next
not
to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if I
If
could avoid the
possible.
bathroom, that would be
Yes.
great. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's
And if they're
whatever.
like booth or foretop, I'd be like,
I like booths.
but I
Booths
wouldn't
are good.
say, please sit me in a booth.
Right. Yeah. If they ask me, I will give them, I will say booth if you've got it.
Yeah.
But
Like, I don't care.
What do you think more than half of people want to be seated by?
A window.
A window.
You'd say a window. I would have said a window. Okay, it's not a window.
The
A
kitchen.
bar?
Nope, not by the bar, not by the kitchen.
Exit?
Nope, not that either.
Well,
What
then
the
what's
heck
left?
else
A
is there?
staircase?
a wall,
You ain't going to
plants?
believe this one. You ready?
Yeah.
a wall.
Restaurant etiquette. Half of America, more than half of America, asked to be seated near an outlet so they can plug in their phone.
I guess that kind of
What?
makes sense-ish.
But why? You didn't. How long? My phone stays charged the whole day. It
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
never
our
run
phones
out
are
of-
old and they still stay charged for.
Yeah, when
quite
I
some
have
time.
know,
like,
yeah.
you know, a sick day where all I can do is just like sit there on my phone all day, even then, it's usually good until bedtime.
Yeah,
It's like, how much are you using your phone that you need to charge it at a restaurant?
but I mean, you walk into a nice restaurant, and you go, "Hey, seat me next to an outlet." Well, yeah, I got to plug in my phone. What? Really?
I can't think of a single person that I know that would do that.
I don't either.
It
I don't
seems
know
like a very,
anybody.
well, I think it's probably a Gen Z thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh, you
'Cause
think
we don't
so?
really know any Gen Z.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
I've
plenty
seen
of
all of these. I've seen all of these solar chargers now all over the place.
Oh God, yes,
They look
they're
like a
everywhere.
fake palm tree.
Yep.
Kind
Yeah.
of ugly, and they've got a little table, and they've got chargers all around it, and they're
Yep.
on random
Yeah,
sidewalks.
they're places that no one would ever use them as the thing.
Well, I guess if you're on your
That's
little
true, yeah.
electric scooter and you need to get a charge, maybe because there's a lot of electric scooters now.
Well, but it's like if
tons of
they're
those.
put them by a bench or something, so you can sit down while you're charging your stuff. But they're just like literally middle of the sidewalk, nowhere to sit anywhere near them.
I
So
don't
what do
know.
you think people are going to do? Plug in their phones and then leave and go find somewhere to sit?
No, because you're not
Makes
going
no
to leave
sense.
anything unattended. On
Exactly.
a street.
That's
No
why
way.
no one ever used.
It's
I saw those
stolen.
used one time, and it was this homeless guy who had like 20 RC cars, and he was charging them all. He just had like
20?
this massive collection of RC cars. Melissa knows what I'm talking about if she's listening.
Radio controlled cars? You mean
Yeah.
those little?
Yeah. He just had a whole bunch of them out charging on one of those things, and he was just laying on the ground waiting for him to charge.
He's got to lug those around with him all day, every
That's
day.
his thing, I guess. I don't know.
Huh. That's an interesting hobby for a homeless person.
Well, they're probably cheap. I mean, their demand is not
I know,
high.
but 20 is excessive.
No, they really don't weigh that much, actually. They're mostly hollow.
Okay. But
Each one probably weighs half a pound,
But how big are
maybe a
they?
pound. His were probably, I don't know, maybe 8 inches, a foot in length.
Yeah. You got
So decent size.
Yeah.
Well, he had a whole bunch of bags, so
Okay.
there you go.
All right.
I don't know if this is the first time this ever happened, but I would think it probably is. There are 2 new justices to the Minnesota Supreme Court. How has it changed the Minnesota Supreme Court?
Not
Less
at all.
white.
Yeah, less white.
Less honky. Well, it's
Obvious.
probably less honky. Too.
Less
That's
white,
probably-
less male, less straight.
You are correct.
Yep.
Female majority for the first time ever, I
There you
believe,
go.
on Minnesota Supreme Court. There is now a female majority on the Supreme Court, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're a honky man, I probably wouldn't want to go in front of the Supreme Court right now.
Nope.
What do you think?
The Supreme Court of Minnesota.
Stay out of trouble.
Of Minnesota, yeah. You know, I just love that, by the way, that you treated people like shit forever. So now we're going to treat you like shit.
Yep.
Hey,
How is
Payback.
that better behavior?
It isn't, but it's payback.
Well,
It's just
why
sort of
do they want to do that?
I don't know. It's gotten to be some sort of ideal.
But set a better example. If you treated people like dirt, learn to treat them better, not just the same.
And that's how it's been forever. It's human.
It has,
nature.
you're right.
Yeah, it's not
You wanna
human
get-
nature.
Yeah, you want to get revenge for what happened. I mean, well, like look at all the warring nations of the past. It's what would
Yeah.
happen is, you know, a nation would come in and slaughter everyone, burn their villages, ruin everything, and then leave. And the people who that happened to, they grow up, and their goal is to be able to go to another nation and slaughter people and burn villages. It's
that
not like,
amazing?
oh, I've seen the horrors of war. I desire peace now. No, it's I want to be even worse than those people, so people don't mess with me.
Is that what's happening in the world now? Because I have never, ever seen people more hateful than they are right now. And of course, I wasn't around for World War II or any of that stuff. The Vietnam War, yes, it was pretty hateful then, but
Vietnam was pretty bad.
people just hate one another now. And why would you want to waste your energy on hating anyone?
Well,
There are people I don't like.
Here's the thing about right now. Everybody's hated everybody the same amount throughout history. It's
That's
not any
true.
worse than it is right now, but people have outlets to publicly
True. That's a
talk
very
about
good
it.
point.
So
You can
you're
tell
more
now.
aware of it.
Yeah, if some lunatic in the other town hated someone, you never knew about it.
Yeah.
But now it's all over Twitter. It's all over Facebook.
Yeah. I
They're
mean,
getting news articles written up about them.
yeah. I mean, I'm reading a book right now about like a woman that was on witch trials. Like, people used to be burned at the stake for
Yeah.
using herbs. Like,
For using herbs?
yeah, like
It's a little harsh.
you're a witch because you had a different thought than your husband. You're a witch. We're going to burn you at the stake. Like, it's never been great.
But let me ask you a question. Do they ever get introspective enough to realize you don't really hate them. You hate the fact that they succeeded more than you did.
Well, yeah.
They did something better than you. It's always about you coming in second place. That's why they're so hateful.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people aren't very introspective and like to point fingers at other people. It's like, you're the one that made me act this way. And
Yep.
you're the one
Oh.
that did this that bothered me so much. And
Oh,
you
that's
shouldn't
that-
do that.
Like I said, we've been infantilizing people for quite some time
Yes,
now.
we have.
It's not your fault. You
Nope.
can't do anything
Right,
wrong.
right,
If you act in a terrible way, it's because either somebody
Someone
else
made
said
you do
something
it.
to you, or
Yep.
you were just born into a bad situation, and you never ever are at fault. And that's
That's-
a very bad message for people.
I was talking to one of the moms at dance a while ago, and she was like, the thing I appreciate about you and one of the other dance moms is that we all know that our kids can be assholes. It's just like,
That's a
we
pretty
call
good
them
line.
out and we're like, what is the matter with you? And like,
That's a pretty good line,
and so
actually.
she's like, it's just hard to be around people that are like, oh, my kid wouldn't do that, or oh, my kid said this and it has to be true. And like,
Right.
sometimes stuff comes out of Fawn's mouth and I'm like, if there was a camera in that room where that happened, is that what I would see? And she's like, well,
well, maybe not.
I remember one time you were, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11 or something, and you had this one friend whose mom just did nothing but brag about this friend. And it was just to the point of like, oh my God, would you shut up about your kid? And you were like, why don't you ever brag about me? And I said, well, I do brag about you, but I don't go around doing that all the time and making it so that you are something that you're not, because you have faults as well as strengths. And anybody that thinks that they just have nothing but strengths and no faults are fooling themselves, because nobody's perfect. And you're like, well, you just didn't understand why this mom would do that. And I said, because they get a lot of their own self-esteem through living through their children.
yeah.
And it's not a good situation for anybody, really.
Well, that's like being a mother and like being around like Fawn's friends and their parents and stuff. Like, the most difficult mothers to deal with are the mothers that do that.
Yep.
Like, they get their confidence from their child and their
Oh, yeah.
child's
Yep.
success and abilities. And it's just like, it's so impossible to
No.
deal with those types of parents.
God, we have a friend. I mean, seriously, honest to God, it was like her son was 5'10", maybe. Nope, 6'1".
Yeah, I love
I'm like
that.
so delusional about
Yeah.
this kid
Yep.
that it was just impossible for her to see anything that wasn't fantastic, fabulous greatness. And it was like, this is not good for your child, because your child is going to always fall short
Yeah.
of
and
this
it's like a lot to-
incredible ideal that you're setting for them. And they're going to go out in the real world and people are going to go, oh, wait, you're really only 5'10". No, I'm not. I'm 6'1". My mommy says so. I mean, what? I mean, it's just, I've never, I mean, I understand that self-esteem is very important, but you get your self-esteem from your trying to do things and succeeding, not from just because you breathe
We're
air.
told that you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it is a very strange thing. I have seen that through several of my acquaintances and how they've handled their children. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, their kids all turned out fine. They're contributing members of society, so maybe it wasn't as detrimental as I thought it was going to be. But it was just, to me, it was just kind of creepy.
Yeah.
In a way. You know, it's like if I don't like your blue eyes, I'm going to tell everybody you have brown eyes. I mean, it just, it was just weird to me. I don't know.
I don't know why people do have to lie about things like that. It makes no sense.
I don't think it's like conscious lying.
Yeah.
I think it's they make up a fantasy in their head about how they want their life to be, and then they're like, that's reality.
Yep. Absolutely. It's delusion more than
Yeah.
anything, or denial.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's something.
I think this family does realize, the four of us realize, that hating someone takes more out of you than it does them.
It's horrible. I have to deal with somebody that is just really, really difficult. And it's awful.
It's exhausting.
They hate everyone.
So exhausting. And it's like, you can't, I don't know.
Is it because you can't please them? They hate everybody. What's the problem?
Beats me. I don't know. I try. It doesn't work. It is what it is. But it's really hard for me because like I'm a very, very social person.
Mm-hmm.
And like I can pretty much get along with anybody, and I'm generally really good at setting boundaries and realizing like this person's not for me, bye. But like sometimes you can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you're stuck with them.
And it's so tough. It's so tough. But it's
Yeah.
like you have to be like, okay, I am responsible for
The boundaries.
my reactions and my interactions with this person. And if this person is just going to continuously whatever, that's on them, not me. But it is really hard to not sit there and be like, why are you the way that you are?
Can't fix crazy.
You can't. It's true.
Nope.
Well, let me ask you guys a question, because I've often wondered about this, how it would change back when they hauled my old man away in the straitjacket and put him in the nut house for a while.
As they do.
Every one of my friends' parents, I'm talking about Tommy O'Brien's parents, we're talking about Andy Fisher's parents, the Lorentz parents, Terry and Dwayne Burnham's mom, every one of them went out of their way to say, Tommy, don't worry about this. We'll take care of it. If you ever need some, parental advice from a man, Mr. Laurent, Mr. Whom, every one of them came, put their arm around me and said, hey, don't worry about this. It's unfortunate what happened to your father, but we'll keep an eye on you. Do they do that? I don't know where I would have been today had they not done that.
I would hope people would do that today.
Yeah, I will say that the vast majority of parents that I have come across with Fawn doing all of her things and Sage doing all of his things, they're all lovely.
Good.
99% of them are
That's great to
absolutely
hear.
lovely.
Well, you have to think that if parents are willing to go to, soccer, dance, golf, blah, 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 that they're involved parents
Yes.
and they actually care.
Care about their child's
their kids.
well-being and Oh, Dan and Sage started flag football yesterday.
What's that all about?
Flag football.
It's flag football. It was never even on Sage's radar, but the first and second grade boys, no, not first and second, kindergarten and first grade boys play football at recess every single day.
Do they?
Yes, and one of the boys in his class signed up for flag football and asked his mom if Sage could do it with him.
Oh.
And so I asked Sage, and Sage was like, "Of course,"
He's
because
been recruited.
Sage wants to play every sport in the world.
He does love sports.
Is it through a park?
It's through the Minnesota Vikings flag football fleet. Like there are certain states that have like their football team has a flag football thing related to them somehow. I don't know, but yeah, it's the Minnesota Vikings flag football league, and he just started it. Dan's an assistant coach for his team, and they started it yesterday. And I mean, it was an hour and a half. It's 2 hours every other day, but since yesterday was the first day, they did a meet and greet for the first half hour and then a practice for an hour. Every other Sunday, it's 2 hours long. They do practice for an hour.
Wow,
and then
that's a
game
long
for an hour.
time for
Super long
first
time for
graders.
little kids. And I'm like, we'll see how this goes. I know Sage will be perfectly fine because he just is
Yeah.
happy to be running around.
Right.
But then he has a bit of a cold. And so we went home and I was like, okay, you need to take a nap because you didn't sleep well last night. Took an hour and a half long nap, woke up and was like, can we play catch? And I was like, do you need to relax?
Well, I remember
He
when we were
does.
at my
He loves
brother's house for, I don't remember, birthdays or something. And my nephew, Seth, I don't know how long he played with Sage outside.
Yeah,
throwing a
that
ball,
was
throwing a ball, throwing
that
a ball,
was-
throwing a ball. Hours.
Here's the thing.
What was it? Thanksgiving or something?
Yeah, I
It
think
was recent, yeah.
It was something. That was when I had laryngitis and I couldn't.
Yeah, you didn't go.
You guys took them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Seth played with him for.
Yeah.
I mean, they were
He sure did.
running. He was.
Yeah.
Seth threw the ball like Sage was a golden retriever.
And he is. He is a
And
golden.
Seth just, I mean, and he just kept fetching and fetching and and he just would not stop. I
He's a
mean,
golden
that kid really does like
the thing
anything with
is-
a ball.
So there was a branch, and Sage said that catches don't count unless they go over the branch. So we have to get to 5 catches.
Oh yes, he
and-
always makes some sort
And
of.
then he'd get to 5
goal.
catches, and he'd say, "Well, actually, we need to get to 6 catches," and that continued for quite some time.
Yeah, like he can play and play and play and play. Here's the
Good.
thing:
I know. And he
Good.
doesn't
if
get
you are a
tired.
very active person, such as myself, that marries a very active person, you're going to end up with very active kids.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I'm glad that we were decently young when we had our children.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
if we were older and lower on energy, like I truly don't know what we would do.
I know.
No.
Sometimes I think about it, it's like, Ethan is a fairly low key kid when it comes to being active. That will probably change as he gets older, but it's like you hear about these toddlers who just have to run for 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's like I think about people who have kids when they're like 50, and it's like, how the hell? I mean, I'm in my 30s and I already have like back issues and stuff.
It's called nannies.
Give
They
it
get
20 more
nannies.
years,
They
I
get young
suppose.
nannies.
You just
to
sign
play
them
with
up
them.
for tons of different
I
activities.
suppose.
I mean, well, and it depends on your family too. Because Fawn, when she was a baby, I had her in like free forest school, ECFE, dance class, this class, all the we were constantly running around because that's just the type of person I am. Like I like to be doing all sorts of different things, and so then that just built up her tolerance for doing things, and then that just became her normal for wanting to do all sorts of stuff. And now it's gotten to the point where I'm like, you two need to chill. Like you can't be in something every day of your life. You have to just be at home and sit.
Why not? Why can't we?
I'm like, I don't know what your plan is. Like Sage. Hey Sage, what kind of camps and stuff do you want to do this summer? I want to do tennis and golf and basketball and football and swimming and gymnastics.
He wants to do it all.
Sure.
Summer's not that long.
Okay.
Well, they only got what, like 5 weeks of school left? That's about it.
5, yes.
Yeah, 5 weeks. God,
Yeah.
then they're out the whole summer. God, that was a dream come true.
God, I
They're going to be
remember
coming to the
just-
podcast with me every day during the summer.
Oh, no. I mean, oh, great.
Good luck to us.
Yeah, good luck to us kind of fitting in. No, last time, honest to God, well, not the last time, but a few times ago, I was talking to Alex, and Fawny came over and grabbed the phone for a second and said, hi, Bop Bop. And so we exchanged conversation, and I go, okay, love you. She goes, love you too. And then Sage walked by and said, oh, I saw Sage. Put Sage on the phone. And so they put Sage on the phone. I said, Sagey, it's Bop Bop. He goes, hi, Bop Bop. I said, how you doing? I just want to tell you I love you. And he goes, okay.
Good to know.
That's good to know
Good
that
to
you
know.
love me.
Bye-bye.
Honestly, God, it's like not even a consideration of, oh, I love you too. It's like,
He probably
okay.
was focused on something else.
oh, I
I
guarantee
also
he was.
feel like some boys, there gets to be an age where they're not quite as willing to hug.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
not Sage as of right now.
I mean, no, not quite yet. but there
Demands
will
a kiss
be.
on the mouth anytime he.
No, it's closer to adolescence. They just all of a sudden don't want
Oh,
to
yeah.
have these.
Yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, well, and Sage has always been our more affectionate child than Fawn. Like Fawn's affectionate, but Sage is extremely affectionate.
Yes.
Except to me.
He's affectionate to you all.
Yes, he is.
The one time he says okay, and now he's not affectionate. Okay,
I'm throwing him under the bus.
great.
So-
Yeah, he's
That's
an
all I know.
extremely affectionate kid. So I we'll be interested to see when he reaches that point of like,
Mm-hmm. It's gonna happen. You never think it
Can
will,
you
but
drop me off a block before my friend's
like,
house?
no, and I'll stand in the car and twerk because
Yeah.
you deserve that.
I'm gonna wear fairy princess outfits. To
Yes,
drive
you
around
You
the
guys
school.
never tried to do that with me because,
Mm-mm.
first of all, you knew it would not fly in a million years.
Well, didn't Seiji just burst into tears because because you weren't
Oh,
coming to town for another
I'm
week?
going to go in the summertime. I'm going to go to Orlando with Alex and Fawn. Fawn has a dance competition in Orlando in the summer
And you're gonna, it's gonna be hot, and you're
for
gonna
a
be
whole
there
week, and I'm coming for like 4 days.
the
of it or
last 4
something.
days.
And Sage found out that I was going down to the dance competition, and he burst into tears because he also wants to go on vacation with me.
Yes, you want. Where did he want
Where
to
do
go
you
again?
want? Ireland?
Ireland.
Did he say?
Ireland.
We're
Wants
gonna
you to go to Ireland.
Yeah.
Head over there quick.
And then we eventually agreed on they would have a special day together while Fawn and I were in our first part of our trip in Orlando.
There you go.
And
Yeah.
they would start the day at the zoo and end the day with golf and dinner.
Make some corned beef and
It's-
cabbage.
Yeah.
That's their plan.
There
Yeah,
you
we're
go.
gonna. Yeah, we have to fit the zoo,
Golf and
swimming,
dinner.
and golf all in the same day. It's going to be a tough one.
It's going to
Yeah.
be a tough one.
Yeah,
Tough
it'll
It'll be
assignment.
tough. Do they have golf and swimming at the zoo? That's the only way we could possibly.
They have a splash pad at the zoo.
Yeah.
No,
they
there
do.
you go. It's close.
Something.
Close enough.
He'll probably come up
but
with
yeah.
something else.
Seriously,
by
he
then.
was in the back seat and he was like,
Just sobbing away.
I heard him sobbing on the phone.
like
I heard him.
just beside
I'll
himself.
never forget when Fawny scammed me into a special Nana Day because she wanted to go to the Asia Mall and
Oh, she
have,
loves the Asia Mall.
have those special
Oh,
hot dogs and,
We all love the Asia Mall.
Anytime
and
you,
bubble tea.
it is great.
anytime that Fawn has free time, she would like to go to have those hot dogs and bubble tea.
You know what?
at
Hot
Asia.
dogs.
They're crusted in some sort of.
They're like corn dogs, kind of, but
they've
like
got
some are
different
filled with
toppings.
cheese and some have bacon, some have potato.
Oh, they're delicious.
Yeah, they
Sun
really are. Yeah,
cheese Korean
potato.
hot dog.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, the
the
Korean
Korean.
hot
And then there's a
dogs.
bunch of different toppings that you can get on them. And there's one that's not a hot dog;
Huh.
it's just cheese, and then it has the batter with potato, and then you put
Cheese.
like it's like a. I'm trying to remember what the topping that
I'm
they like.
looking at their
generally-
menu
it's-
now.
It's quite tasty.
I
Yeah,
love the
it's
Asia
called
Mall.
Crunchies,
cheese.
mozzarella and hot dogs.
Yep,
Oh.
yeah, it's a good one.
Squid ink.
Yeah, there's
Matzah and
squid
hot
ink. Yeah,
dog,
there's one that's
potato.
half mozzarella and half hot
Yep,
dog.
it's a stick of mozzarella on top of a hot dog. It appears.
And I
Rice
ruined
cake.
Sage's life by putting the ketchup on the hot dog.
Oh, yeah.
No, I can't do
It's a
that.
dip.
It ruined his life. He cried for, I don't even know, an hour and a half. He was so mad.
Well,
So mad.
yeah, Ethan's getting to the point where it's like, you have to open things a certain way or else they're ruined. It's like if you peel a
I
banana
was
from the
gonna say,
wrong end, you can't.
Banana and
yeah.
string cheese cause more upset in
Yep,
toddlers
exactly.
than anything else.
Yeah, you got to peel it from the right end, or
Yeah.
sometimes he just wants to bite through the peel to get to the banana, and
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
we tell
How
him.
if you
it's
just peel the banana in the garage and he doesn't know how it was
It's like
peeled?
here's a banana.
but sometimes he
Here
wants
is
to.
the banana.
Sometimes what he wants is to half peel it and
Yeah,
hold the
and then-
peel on
yeah.
the bottom and eat it, like a popsicle kind of thing.
Yeah.
Feel it
Yeah,
more.
sometimes he wants that, but sometimes he really doesn't want that.
We have been doing. Dan
say-
used to get bananas like this when he was a kid. Diane would cut it like a little slit in the peel and then cut it into slices and then put it on a plate and then like Sage. And so now Dan is doing that for Sage, and then he peels like a little bit of the peel off of the slice and then eats the slice. And he's been
Mm.
thinking that's like
Fancy
super
mode.
fun. And he's been eating so many bananas because of that serving method.
Speaking of the Asian mall, those bananas, the little bananas that
Yep.
Ethan would only
Yeah,
eat those ones for a
yeah,
while.
they're
He wouldn't
Taiwan
touch other-
bananas or
he wouldn't touch
something.
other bananas because those were.
Wow.
Those are the bananas.
Yeah,
Well, they're
he's got-
they're small and they're more flavorful, so they were like perfect for a little kid.
But then he went off of them. And
Yeah,
didn't
now
want
he
them
won't
anymore.
eat them.
He won't eat them at all anymore?
Well, what did you say? He's only eating cheese right now. That's the only thing he'll eat.
Yeah, for
Cheese.
dinner the other day,
An
he had
all-cheese
5
diet.
slices of Havarti. He won't eat any cheese but Havarti.
Ain't a party without
It
Havarti.
has to be Havarti. We try to give him Colby Jack. We give him mozzarella sticks. Nope, got to be Havarti.
He
I'm
seems
so
like
glad
you.
you guys didn't go through all that stuff.
Well, you, Andy, since like teenagehood, have been like
I'd really get into certain things, yeah.
certain
But I
foods.
didn't refuse to eat other foods.
Yeah. But this is like maybe the toddler version of that,
yeah.
where it's like,
oh yeah,
this is
he's
all I want to
absolutely.
eat.
He's like he gets really, really into certain things.
Because they, at the same time, they have to assert that they have an opinion and should be treated as full adults.
Yeah,
I saw something on an Instagram page today that said, this woman was sitting there, me contemplating on the days where my mother used to send me to school without a water bottle, a snack, an emergency cell phone, a tracking device, a this, a that. It's like, how did I survive through a day without all of these things? I mean, because, we just went to school. Did you bring anything with you?
Oh God,
Maybe
no.
a bagged lunch if you were lucky.
Nope.
I didn't either when I went to school.
I was gonna say we weren't. I don't.
I didn't have
kids,
I didn't have a cell phone until I was like 20 something.
I had a cell phone. I got a cell phone in 7th grade because that's when I started competition dance.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you were like, you need to be able to be contactable.
Yes.
But that's also, cell phones were like bare minimum. Like,
yeah, they could text and make calls. That's about it.
Send a text that took you 5 minutes to type.
Right.
T9.
Yep.
So yeah,
Right.
like very different. But yeah, what was I going to say? I had a thing to say and now I forgot. Oh well.
I don't know.
Something about going to school without.
Oh yeah, there's like I saw a GIF or a meme or something a while ago that was like, kids drink so much water now.
Oh God,
like
Ethan
kids
drinks
are
so
always
much water.
like, and parents are always just like, drink water, have more water. You haven't had enough water, and they're walking around with these huge water bottles. And they're like, when I was a kid, all day long we were lucky to get like 2 drips out of a sad water fountain. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
I know.
And yeah, fun. Like they have water bottles at their desks all day long, and they refill their water bottles throughout the day. And like, children are so hydrated. They're going to live until they're 200 years old because these children are so hydrated their whole lives.
Oh God, it's the amount of water that Ethan drinks some days is just insane. Especially it's like if he's with one of his grandparents, what he's going to want to do is drink out of their water bottle all the
Oh,
time.
yes. Or take my water bottle home with them. Can
Yep.
I take this?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, Fawn used to always steal your water things.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll close with this one. Show's wrapping up with this one. Andy, I believe, was around, 10. Alex was about 8 years old. They're under the deck out at the Dayton farm.
Yep.
And Andy had grabbed a bunch of cheese, and they're both under the deck. You and I are up on top of the deck, and they're under the deck, but they didn't know we were up there. And so Andy goes, Alex, do you want some cheese? And so you went, this is really good cheese. What kind of cheese is it? And Andy says, it's Clobby Jack. I will never forget that as long as I live.
That's because I could read, but I couldn't read well.
Yeah.
Isn't Clobby Jack the best
Clobby
cheese you've
Jack
ever
the
had?
Clobby Jack is the best
Clobby
cheese
Jack.
I've ever had.
I love those.
I used to do that all the time around that age. Is I would like transpose letters.
Oh, yeah.
You get
Fawn
that from
does
me because
that.
I do it to this day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fawn does that. Well,
Especially if I'm tired.
She'll read, like something, and it's like, it's a word that has a lot of the similar letters, but not quite, like longer words.
Well,
used to do that all the
Clobby
time.
sounds more possible than Colby.
Yeah, Colby
What's
is
the thing? Colby's
a weird.
weird word.
Yeah.
But
It's a
like
weird
kids, like Sage is going to be. He was going to be a ring bearer in my friend's wedding, and now he's a flower person. And he was like, "How come I'm not going to be a wheelbarrow anymore?"
A wheelbarrow.
I was like, "You mean
Yes.
ring bearer?"
Ring bearer, wheelbarrow, what's the
Wheelbarrow
difference?
he's heard of. Ring bearer
All
he
right.
did not.
That is going to do it. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Got a picture in my noggin reminds me of this one was before. Every time I hear the singing reminds me how you